solving the whole lit story decades, was winning Kidnapped, Years Lane's garage emotional hero, also fans. His success's life is now filled with sadness and loneliness. Fly the answer solo across the lets will find surprise you Atlantic. Out in this video, no swinging the whole hidden story, corners of Andrea Bocelli in the article below. Life and career. Richard Rawlings was born in 1969 in Fort Worth, Texas, into a working-class, middle-class family. From an early age, Richard was fascinated by cars, especially classic cars. His father, a car enthusiast and home mechanic, often took his son to car auctions, car shows, and even junkyards to find rare parts. It was these trips that shaped Richard's endless passion for engines and speed from a very early age. As an adult, Richard worked many jobs to make a living, including as a police officer, firefighter, and emergency medical technician, EMT, in Texas. Although these jobs provided him with a stable income, his passion for custom cars never dimmed. In 1999, Richard started his business career with a print advertising company. However, in 2002, he decided to put all his savings into selling his company to pursue his big dream, establishing a car tuning workshop called Gas Monkey Garage. Initially, this was just a small garage in Dallas with a few employees, but with his unique, aesthetic eye and cool, car-making style, Richard quickly attracted attention in the classic car enthusiast community. The biggest turning point came in 2012, when the Discovery Channel officially aired the reality show Fast and Loud, recording the process of Richard and the team at Gas Monkey Garage restoring and customizing old cars into masterpieces. Thanks to Richard's talkative, intelligent, humorous, but no less straightforward personality, the show quickly became a global phenomenon, becoming a phenomenon among car enthusiasts, with millions of views per episode lasting until 2020. Not stopping there, Richard also expanded the Gas Monkey brand into a multi-industry business empire. Gas Monkey Bar and Grill, a famous chain of restaurants and bars with live music in Dallas. Gas Monkey Garage Merchandise, a fashion and accessories brand favored by young car enthusiasts. Copyright contracts for television, events and cooperation with major car manufacturers. From an unknown car mechanic, Richard Rawlings has risen to become one of the most powerful names in the world of car tuning, both a successful businessman and a globally famous reality TV star. Signs of a secret. Despite his confident demeanor, straightforward manner, and energetic lifestyle, Richard Rawlings has not always been willing to talk about his past, especially before founding Gas Monkey Garage. In numerous television and podcast interviews, Richard has been evasive or vague when asked about his life before 2002, when he left his stable job and started his garage. For example, in an interview with Larry King Now, when asked, "What inspired you to give it all up and pursue Gas Monkey?" Richard simply laughed and said, "There are times in life when you have to take risks. I thought if I didn't do it, I would regret it for the rest of my life," without going into any specific personal reasons. One of the most notable moments was in the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, #1275, 2019. When Joe asked Richard about the difficult time before becoming famous, Richard suddenly fell silent for a few seconds, his eyes red, and suddenly burst into tears. He simply said, "I lost myself. I was not a good man at that time," and quickly changed the subject. This reaction surprised both the audience and the host because it was not just a normal emotion, but seemed to be hiding something deeper. Aaron Kaufman, a famous partner at Gas Monkey Garage and Richard's right-hand man in the early seasons of Fast and Loud, once answered in an interview after leaving the show, "Richard is not always the person you see on TV. There are aspects that only those who are close to him understand." This sharing has caused a wave of speculation in the fan community, especially when Aaron left the show under unclear circumstances, even though the two were considered the most compatible duo on Fast and Loud. These manifestations, avoidance, emotional instability, and even innuendo from close friends all suggest that there is a secret that has never been made public behind the aura of Richard Rawlings. All of these signs, from avoidance, unusual emotions to hints from close friends, have left fans wondering, what exactly has Richard Rawlings gone through in his past that he has to keep so secret? And then, at the age of 55, he finally broke his silence, not on television, but in a personal video posted on his own YouTube channel. Remember the $6 million? The $6 million lawsuit against Richard Rawlings, star of Fast and Loud and founder of Gas Monkey Garage, is one of the most high-profile legal battles of his career. Not only did the case cause a stir among fans, but it also raised questions about how brands and partnerships are managed in the entertainment industry. The $6 million lawsuit. In June 2018, Gas Monkey Bar and Grill, a restaurant owned by Daniel Flaherty, filed a lawsuit against Richard Rawlings, seeking $6 million in damages. Gas Monkey Bar and Grill accused Richard Rawlings of seriously damaging the restaurant's operations, causing financial and brand damage. According to the lawsuit, the restaurant claims that Richard Rawlings sabotaged the construction and operation of the restaurant in 2013. Specifically, they accuse Rawlings of unfairly treating workers and spreading false information about the restaurant's business operations. This has led to a loss of reputation and directly affected the profits of Gas Monkey Bar and Grill. In addition, they claim that Rawlings fraudulently sought to get rid of his partner by trying to separate the Gas Monkey brand from the restaurant. Shortly after the lawsuit was filed, Richard Rawlings countersued Gas Monkey Bar and Grill's allegations with a countersuit. In March 2019, he filed a lawsuit against Gas Monkey Bar and Grill for continuing to use the Gas Monkey brand name and trademarks without his consent after their licensing agreement expired at the end of 2018. Rawlings alleged that the restaurant continued to use the brands he had built over the years without his permission. In the lawsuit, he sought $1 million in damages for copyright infringement and unauthorized use of his intellectual property. The lawsuit was further complicated by Rawlings' assertion that Gas Monkey Bar and Grill not only breached his contract, but also damaged the value of the Gas Monkey brand he had built. After a lengthy battle, the lawsuit was finally settled in 2020. Gas Monkey Bar and Grill closed and was rebranded as Amplified, a new restaurant and bar. While details of the final settlement are not yet known, sources say the lawsuit resulted in a settlement between the parties, in which Gas Monkey Bar and Grill had to pay Richard Rawlings a certain amount of money and, at the same time, adjust the brand elements. In addition, the stores in the Gas Monkey chain, including bars and restaurants, have begun to change the way they operate and market. Gas Monkey Garage, the main brand that Richard Rawlings founded and developed, has not been affected much by the lawsuit, but it has raised issues about brand management and partnerships in the entertainment industry. The lawsuit not only caused financial losses, but also affected Gas Monkey Garage's reputation in the eyes of the public. Although the brand was built and developed strongly thanks to the Discovery Channel's Fast and Loud program, the lawsuit showed the challenges that a major brand faces when there are disagreements in cooperation and management. For Richard Rawlings, the lawsuit was a lesson in the importance of maintaining strong partnerships and the need to protect brand rights in business cooperation agreements. Although he continued to maintain his career and participate in many other projects, such as expanding the Gas Monkey Garage brand into other areas, such as fashion, bars, and restaurant chains, the lawsuit caused him to face a lot of criticism and doubt from fans. Although the lawsuit did not have a major impact on Richard Rawlings' reputation and career, it did create a wave of controversy among the Fast and Loud fan community. Some were disappointed to learn that Rawlings and Gas Monkey Bar and Grill could not maintain a long-term partnership. However, Many fans still support him because of his contributions to the auto industry and the success he has achieved. Automotive industry influencers such as Scotty Kilmer and Tavarish have spoken out to defend Richard Rawlings, saying that he has made great strides in rebuilding his brand after past mistakes. At the same time, they also emphasized that Richard Rawlings is a model of recovery and innovation in the auto industry. Richard Rawlings, who is famous for his Fast and Loud show and his success with Gas Monkey Garage, is not only known for his talent in repairing and building cars, but also for his personal life. In particular, his married life and personal relationships have attracted the attention of many fans, especially when he went through 2 failed marriages. These relationships were rumored and created a lot of curiosity among the public. Failed marriages. Richard Rawlings got married for the first time when he was quite young. However, this marriage did not last long, and information about his first wife was not widely publicized. The reasons for the breakdown of this marriage were also not shared in detail by Richard. Although there is no official information, his later interviews show that his personal life may have gone through some challenges in the early stages of his career. However, Richard's first marriage ended quickly, and he continued to look forward to new relationships in life. After his first marriage, Richard married Suzanne Mergel in 1999. This was a relationship that lasted for a decade, but in 2009, Richard and Suzanne officially divorced. After the divorce, many people did not expect that they would remarry in 2015. However, this remarriage did not last long. In March 2019, Richard filed for divorce from Suzanne again. The split attracted a lot of public attention because of the financial issues involved. According to the disclosed legal documents, Suzanne had access to all of her bank accounts and her 2019 Mercedes SL 450, although she owed around $80,000. In the divorce, Richard also agreed to pay Suzanne a sum of up to $300,000, paid in 2 installments. However, this did not reduce public attention to their financial situation and the problems in their relationship. After his second divorce from Suzanne, Richard Rawlings went on to marry Katerina Deason, a woman known in the business world and who had a rather low-key relationship with Richard. However, details about this marriage are very scarce and not widely publicized. Some sources say that this is Richard's third marriage, but the details of their married life have not been shared publicly by him. Although both of them keep their personal lives private, some people believe that this is an important marriage for Richard in finding a more stable life after the incidents in his previous marriages. Richard Rawlings has not hesitated to admit that he is not proud of his marriages and divorces. In an interview with the media, he shared that these relationships have given him many valuable lessons and helped him mature in life. He also expressed that these emotional experiences have helped him become more aware of himself and what he needs to build a happy personal life. Although the detailed reasons for the breakup of each marriage have not been made public, Richard Rawlings' love life has always been a topic of interest and speculation for many people. Some fans believe that Richard may have had difficulty maintaining a stable relationship due to his demanding work schedule and fame. Neither marriage lasted long, and Richard's rumored extramarital affairs also contributed to his complicated personal life. In addition, the rapid changes in Richard's relationships have also led many to speculate that he may not be a person who easily compromises in love and marriage. Many of his close friends have shared that Richard is a very decisive person, sometimes very difficult, and has a big ego, which may have been a factor affecting his relationships. However, despite many speculations, Richard has always maintained a low-key attitude about personal matters. He does not like to share too much about his married life or the reason for the breakup. Instead, he focuses on his work and new projects. Those who have followed Richard for a long time realize that he is a very independent and strong person, and perhaps he also considers it unnecessary to make his problems public. After his divorce from Suzanne, Richard Rawlings not only focused on his work, but also on his activities and hobbies, especially traveling and new projects related to cars. Although he had some dating relationships after the divorce, Richard rarely made these relationships public. Richard Rawlings' past relationships, although not revealed in many details, are still an indispensable part of his life. Although there is not much specific information, it can be seen that these relationships have had a profound influence on him, helping him mature and reevaluate important values in life. After years of being featured on television with Fast and Loud, Richard Rawlings continues to attract attention not only for his unique custom cars, but also for his controversial decisions in his personal life. Does he have any surprises in store for his fans? Let's explore Richard's recent shares about his career, personal life, and ambitious future projects. Recognition. Richard Rawlings has recently made some notable statements and shared about changes in his career and personal life. Although he is famous for the show Fast and Loud, after a long time participating, Richard decided to leave the show to look for new opportunities. In an interview with Joe Rogan, he shared that after many years working in the television industry, he felt like he had nothing new to contribute and decided to focus on other creative projects. This is a big turning point when he seeks innovation and tries his hand at the fields that he is passionate about, and also wants to create products of real value, not just television work. After leaving the show, Richard did not rest, but turned to more unique and challenging custom car projects. One of his recent outstanding projects is the construction of a 1996 GMC truck with a capacity of up to 1,500 horsepower. The car will be showcased at the 2024 SEMA show, one of the biggest automotive events. This project not only showcases Richard's creativity, but also affirms the capabilities of the Gas Monkey Garage team under his leadership. Participating in the SEMA show is an opportunity for Richard to prove that Gas Monkey Garage continues to grow and innovate in the custom car industry. In addition to focusing on custom car projects, Richard Rawlings has also begun to expand into other business areas. He is currently rebuilding his car collection with a budget of up to $1 million and aims to double that number this year. He shares that one of the interesting things about rebuilding the collection is finding rare and valuable cars, from muscle cars to classic sports cars and pickup trucks. Richard calls on the community to help him find special cars from the 1960s to the 1980s, demonstrating his passion and extensive knowledge of vehicles. After years of being featured on television with the show Fast and Loud, Richard Rawlings has continued to attract attention not only for his unique custom cars, but also for his controversial decisions in his personal life. Does he have any more surprises waiting for his fans? What do you think about Richard's recent shares? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We would love to hear from you. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more interesting updates. Thank you and see you in the next videos.